Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. You know before you...
Today, in this beautiful and great country, there is indiscriminate equality among every citizen, no matter what their ethnicity, religion, color, or nationality. There is justice and liberty for all. These fundamental principles and God-given rights that are guaranteed and upheld by the Constitution are the ultimate reason why we, the United States, have become arguably the greatest country in the world. To understand how we as a nation become so successful, we must learn our history, because if we don't, we are doomed to repeat it. This great nation was vastly different from what we know it to be today, so much so that perhaps you as a Native American, you as an African American, you as a Caucasian American, and you as a Muslim American may not have been sitting together under the same roof. Though the Constitution was first established by our great forefathers more than 220 years ago, the right and equality it demanded were not truly practiced and fully recognized among all the people until only a few decades ago. It took a lot of sacrifices and many men and women of great courage and indefatigable spirit to ensure the full implementation of the Constitution. One of the most recent courageous and heroic figures who lived during the time of Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks was Malcom X. Malcom X stood up to the evil tyrants and racist individual who did not abide the great American Constitution. He himself was a victim of the violence and immoral mistreatment of racism and shameful segregation of people with different colors, skin, or ethnicity, so he took it upon his own self to stand up against these crimes to humanity. He became an inspirational figure to the oppressed people of the African American ethnicity. He spoke out against injustice and blind hate. The powerful, inspirational, and galvanizing words of Malcom X helped rekindle confidence and positive self-esteem of victimized people that had been perpetually demoralized and disheartened by the cruel reality of hate and racism. His words helped re-establish and embrace their true identity, uplift and empower them. Get a better understanding of some of the hardships people faced during the time of Malcom X, I asked a friend of mine what it was like to live during those days. Did the words of Malcom X ever reach you? And if so, how?
Yeah, it reached me. I was very much in love with what he had to say because time I heard it, I believe what he's saying was the truth.
Most people will share their experience during the time when they're drinking from a water fountain. How was your experience?
Ain't no white person had to be there to watch you and see if you do it. They had something in you that let you know, don't drink from their fountain.
How did your color affect you in getting a job?
I remember when I was a little boy, I went to a white lady's house trying to get employment. I wanted to cut her grass. And she told me, she said, don't you ever come to my front door. Anytime you come here, you come around to the back. And that made me feel a certain way, you know what I'm saying? That made me feel less than human. That's how I was affected. It make you feel less than human, you know?
So couldn't you tell me how was your experience in racism during school?
Well, it was racism in a system, but not per se in our school, because we was with all black people. We couldn't go to school with white people back during that time. See, but it was racism in a systematic way in the books we had, and how our school looked compared to this school. The kind of equipment they had to educate with as compared to the kind of equipment we had.
How did you feel about the Constitution during segregation?
One time the Constitution didn't mean nothing to us at one time. But there are those that's in power
beginning to recognize the importance of human rights, and they're beginning to adhere to those rights. So yes, it have got better. They still got some hidden racism, but it ain't the racism that they got now. Ain't like it was back during that time when Malcolm was here. Every time we ain't had no food. Not to mention money to go to a restaurant. No, I didn't experience it like that until I got bigger and start going out to restaurants on my own. We had to go to the back door. We couldn't go in through the front door. If you went in through the front door, you had to call the police for you. Either one of the white citizens would attack you, or, that's the way it was.
How did the police treat you if you entered through a white door?
They put you in jail for nothing. They'll put you in jail without putting charge on you. Just to show you that they could do it. They had total authority.
Did the wars of Malcom X ever affect you? And if so, how?
It affected me to the point that I wanted to be changed. I wanted to change from how I was because I didn't know that I wasn't free. It affected me in every aspect of the social dynamics, in every aspect of it. In education, in economics, business, politics. I've been affected in every way. I know in church. I saw racism in religion. Racism has affected us in every aspect of the social.
Here are some background information of Malcom X and his family. Malcom X was born Malcolm Little on May 19, 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. His mother, Louise Northern Little, was a homemaker occupied with the family's 8 children. His father, Earl Little, was an outspoken Baptist minister and an avid supporter of the black nationalist leader, Marcus Garvey. Earl's civil rights activism prompted death threats from the white supremacist organization Black Legion, forcing the family to relocate twice before Malcolm's 4th birthday. Unfortunately, Malcom X was assassinated by Town Chair Norman 3X Butler and Thomas 15X Johnson were convinced of first-degree murder in March 1966. Malcom X is buried at the Fernal Cliff Cemetery in Hartsdale, New York. Here are 5 things you may not know about Malcom X. Number 1. His father may have been killed by the white supremacists. Number 2. He moved around constantly as a young. Number 3. He spent 6.5 years in jail for robbing. Number 4. With his help, the Nation of Islam took off in popularity. And number 5. The FBI followed his every single move.